Okay, another thing that I think is important, and this could seem a little bit cliche, so we'll get into some specifics, is the whole idea of making friends. Now,
yes,
I think that this is worth saying because especially now, like things have changed and everyone's experience is different, and lots of people are commuting to school, living off campus, living at home for a multitude of reasons. And so it can be more difficult when you've got some of these other circumstances than if you just, you drop somebody off at college in another town and they've got to sort of make their own way. It's easier in that scenario. But I think especially if you are the kind of person that it's not easy for you to make friends, and you've got anxiety around expanding your social circle or whatever your particular challenges will be, I just think this idea of opening yourself up with discretion and wisdom, of course you don't want to get involved in the wrong crowd of marks or anything like that.
I was thinking Marxists when you said that.
Well, yeah, when you're going to college, you're gonna get involved with some Marxists. That's part of it, man. But letting yourself be a friend to someone and also letting someone else be a friend to you. It has to be a conscious decision.
I agree. I'll lower the bar.
Lower the bar.
And try to gamify it a little bit. Here's the idea that I've come up with. Collecting acquaintances. I'm pretty excited about this, so don't poo-poo it. I'm talking about making a list of the types of people that you want to know and not necessarily be friends with or commit to, but just know. Just acquaintances. Like, I wanna know a weird person. I wanna know like a really brainy person. I wanna know a foreign exchange student. What about that? I wanna know an upperclassman. So it's like you make this list of the types of people that you wanna know because—
Don't write it down though. People find that list.
But don't write it on your hand and then check it off when you're in front of them.
My number 7?
Like, you know what, I've always wanted to meet like someone majoring in biology who wears suspenders.
Okay, I think most of them do.
That's not something you want to say to someone, a biology suspender wearing major, I always wanted to, you were on my list.
Yeah.
But actually, maybe you could say that. Who would you add to your list? Let's start making this list now if we had to go back. I want to meet a bleach-haired, bicycle-riding, strange guy.
Well, I do
be that person.
I do believe that you are serious in your in this piece of advice. So yeah. I'm going to take it seriously.
It's nice to have a variety of people in your life to be exposed. I mean,
well, I think
it's an opportunity to expose yourself, but not in that way.
I wish that we would have taken this. Now, we'll talk a little bit later about another principle that I think is important, which is kind of throwing yourself into a cause while you're in college, which we definitely did in a very big way.
Yeah.
But given the nature of the thing that we got involved with, which was campus, Christian campus ministry, we got involved with a lot of people from very similar backgrounds on very similar trajectories as we were, right? And I think the thing that I regret is not intentionally connecting with people who were different than me. Of course, NC State was different in 1996, but it wasn't that different. There were people from all walks of life, from all socioeconomic backgrounds, from all over the world. All kinds of interesting perspectives and things that were being exchanged.
And we closed ourselves off
I just dove right into the, Southern white conservative Christian heterosexual group, you know what I'm saying? And just went real hard at that. And I wish that I could have been like, but my mentality going into college at the time was one of other perspectives are not only different, but necessarily wrong. I'm coming to this campus with the truth. I'm bringing the correct worldview to this worldly place. And when you go into a situation believing that you've got the truth and it is your job to dispense the truth to the worldly corrupted people around you, making connections with them becomes a transactional thing where the only reason you
not really conducive to true friendship.
It becomes transactional because I'm only befriending you so that I can share the gospel with you, so that I can tell you what the truth is. And most people aren't receptive to that, so you end up just hanging out with all the conservative white people who are receptive to that, who believe the same thing.
It's a problem.
So I wish I hadn't done that, right?
Yeah, and all we had to do is make a list of acquaintances. You don't have to make it this weighty thing where it's like, I have to build meaningful, long-lasting friendships with all these different type of people. That sets the bar really high and it's intimidating. But just having one conversation with somebody, in the first couple of weeks on campus, there's this thing that we've talked about called campus face.
Yeah.
You just need to know that it's gonna happen if you're on that type of campus where you're walking around and you're seeing the same faces over the course of a year. And at a certain point you realize, I know this person's face, but I've never met them or talked to them. And it's nice to have a few people that you've at least said something to, like leaned over in class and said like, is this your first time taking chemistry? I just made that up on top of my head because then it's like.
If it's chemistry 101, probably.
It's a stupid question.
Yeah, come up with something else.
That would be my follow-up.
What's your name, Mark?
That was just a stupid question.
Have you ever wanted it to be?
Just to ask you, just so I could like break the ice.
Do you have any pets?
I think another type of person that's on my list, and it would also take the heat off of the criticism we placed on ourselves that you just laid on us, and we deserve it, is athletes. Like, I would put an athlete on my list. Or maybe I wanna be friends with a football player, and I wanna be friends with a track and field artist.
That's the correct term.
Or a graffiti artist. That's someone I would like to know in my life now. I think I can make a list of acquaintances now.
Yeah, this is pretty much a principle to apply at any point.
Is gonna be in the top 5 for me. But athletes had a tendency, they lived in this bubble on campus, which we penetrated because we were so far from the dining hall that they allowed us at the extreme east side of campus to go to the much closer athletic dining hall.
Case
Dining Hall.
Named after Coach Everett Case.
Much smaller. It was
much better food.
Much better food. They served steaks.
Yeah.
And it was only athletes except for the people from the 3 dorms way over there where we were.
Yeah.
And so it's like these scrawny kids in like really huge clothes.
Let me just say, I was mistaken as a member of the basketball team many times. So don't put me into the scrawny kids with big clothes group.
I was not
They may
mistaken.
have thought that you were the manager for the basketball team, but they thought I was on the basketball team, and I went with that, okay?
The lunch ladies did, but the other athletes knew who was on the basketball team, and you weren't one of them. So it was like,
yeah, right.
we actually got these strange looks and we stopped going, but I went there enough to know, and we did have a few athlete friends. We had a football player friend.
Our roommates, not roommates, but our right next door were both on the football team.
And then Jackie was a swimmer.
Yeah.
And they're so isolated. They're in this bubble.
They do nothing but sports.
I mean, so it really goes for them too. They need to make a list of like, hey, I need to have a couple of acquaintances who aren't athletic, so that I can realize that the world is much broader.
But now the NCAA athletes can get sponsored. So now you can like hang out with somebody who's got like a deal with like the local Italian restaurant. And maybe get a free pasta.
I got some stuff on breaking the ice and having conversations. That first week of class, you need to introduce yourself to a stranger in every class in the first week. It's leaning over and saying something just so, because you're gonna be in class with these people. If it's Chem 101 is an example, there could have been 1,000 people in that classroom.
No, that's not true.
There could have been 300 people in that classroom.
Now you're getting closer.
Okay,
yeah.
That's still a lot of people.
Yeah.
But it would have been better if you just gone with 1,000.
Okay.
But you're gonna see all these people and in a large classroom, you're tempted to never talk to anybody unless they force you into groups, which they usually don't. And so it's like just breaking the ice for a conversation. What it does is, even if it's just, hey, my name's Link, I just wanted to introduce myself because I know, we're gonna be in class. And like, oh, it starts a conversation. Starting a conversation opens up the door for someone else to more easily talk to you later.
And you typically sit in the same, you don't have to. I don't actually remember this, but for whatever reason, we ended up sitting in the same places in all the classes, no matter how big the rooms were.
Creatures of habit.
And so you end up, it's like, oh man, I was sitting next to this person basically all year. And when this is the thing, you gotta do it in the first week, like you said, because when you wait Like if you initiate a conversation with somebody third week, it's like, whoa, what? You know?
Yeah.
Now, if you haven't initiated in the third week, still do it, but just know that it's gonna be harder. You need to do this, it needs to be pretty early, like right out of the gate. And then, okay, maybe you have an initial awkward conversation, but next time, they're going to initiate the conversation with you. And if they don't, you'd be like, oh, I'll talk, then you got it. You go to the left side, talk to the person on the left side.